nothing you can do. In a photograph, the innocence you thought you lost is staring back at you. Whoa, young hearts beat fast, driving down the road, rubber, plastic, metal, glass. Why did you have to go? Young hearts die young when they're all alone and there's no turning back now. There's no turning back. There's no turning back. Knowing where you're bound, it's coming into view. Then you turn around, the innocence you thought you lost is now caught up to you. Young hearts beat fast, driving down the road, rubber, plastic, metal, glass. Why did you have to go? Young hearts die young when they're all alone and there's no turning back now. Young hearts beat fast, driving down the road, rubber, plastic, metal, glass. Why did you have to go? Young hearts die young when they're all alone and there's no turning back now. Time enough to live, never time to die. All you had to give, taken by the one you loved and given to a lie. Why? Young hearts beat fast, driving down the road, rubber, plastic, metal, glass. Why did you have to go? Young hearts die young when they're all alone and there's no turning back now. Young hearts beat fast, driving down the road, rubber, plastic, metal, glass. Why did you have to go? Young hearts die young when they're all alone and there's no turning back now. Good morning, guys. Sorry, I was looking at the earthquake map. How you guys doing today? I don't know why I can't get a street view or something. Why is that not changing? I didn't even change it. What? Don't care about that. I don't understand. It's showing me the fault lines, but it normally shows me like the actual map. Anyway, I got it set for 7 days for 4.5. Good Lord, that airplane's loud. There was a 5.7. So this is okay. So this is the Pacific Ocean, is what we're looking at here. This must be up by Alaska. I wish I. Oh wait, what's this? Yeah, that's Alaska. Still, this doesn't do us any good, world. Yeah, those are the plate boundaries. Anyway, so we had, let's go by largest. So we had the 7.5, 7.2. Those two were in Venezuela.
So that's right here. Those were right next to each other. Sorry, guys, this map sucks. And then 6.9 in Japan. 6.5 in the Philippines. 5.8 Japan. Russia, 5.8. California, 5.6. These are all decent. You know, anything in the 5 is, you know, it's not going to do like serious damage, but you can feel it. What's up, James? How are you? Good to see you guys. You know, I live on the, I live right on, you know, they call it the subduction zone. And it's where the most catastrophic earthquake is going to happen. And they say it's overdue. And the description, the numbers that they use to describe the last time it happened, they call it, I think, a margin rupture. I'm going to play a video. I watched it years ago. Michio Kaku and some dude on the news talking about what will happen when the big one strikes the Pacific Northwest. And it's crazy because I keep talking about all the potholes around here. And I know that people have problems with the roads everywhere. But there's just something weird happening with the roads here. Either somebody's doing this on purpose, or it is because, what? The fucking ground is breaking up? I have no idea. They just keep popping up every day, more and more and more fucking potholes. And they're not just potholes, they're like cracks. And then they just start, I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, only show quakes shown on map. Only this earthquake shown on map. Yeah, that's in, and then that's if I change this up here. In the last, let's see, 7 days, 4.5. Yeah. So you can go like, these are all the earthquakes around the world in the last 7 days that were higher than 4.5. These are all the earthquakes in the last day that were 2.5 or higher. Distance, I don't know. I don't know what I did. Let's watch this video real quick. It does listen by date too. You can go oldest first, but it doesn't change the background. And I just looked at this the other day, and I go to the earthquake thing all the time. I haven't been in a while, but I went the other day because of that big earthquake, and it showed the map. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. I want you guys to. Some of you may have seen this report. It was quite a while ago.
Right now in the Pacific Northwest, I'd be considering. Read a stunning article by Catherine Scholes in the New Yorker this week. And frankly, if I lived right now in the Pacific Northwest, I'd be considering moving. Seriously. The gist of it is this. The federal government estimates 13,000 Americans will die in a major earthquake and tsunami in the Pacific Northwest. It's not a question of whether, but when. This earthquake is coming, and it's overdue. Consider that the magnitude 9.0 earthquake in Japan just a few years ago, remember that, killed more than 15,000 people in the north of Japan and injured thousands of others. Seismologists say that the quake that will strike on our Pacific Northwest coastline should be even stronger, at up to a 9.2. They call such a quake a margin rupture quake, and it's every bit as bad as it sounds. Here's the reason for it. Our entire continent sits on the North American tectonic shelf, right? Plate, I should say, off the coast of the Pacific Northwest, from the top of Washington State all the way down to Northern California. This is it.
It's so crazy because, you know, I'm such a nerd when it comes to the weather and natural phenomenon, and just, it's hard to describe, you know, like my spiritual connection to earth. I think we all have that, but I kind of want it to happen. I don't want it to happen, but I kind of want to see it. I mean, like, we all got to go out somehow. You know what I mean? I don't know.
And another plate called the Juan de Fuca is trying to slide up under North America, but it's stuck. We have an illustration over here in the big wall. Let me show you what this is. This is our continent here. This is the Cascada Mountains. This is the
Cascadia Mountains, you stupid.
Cascadia, what do they call it? The Cascadia what? Bridge. The Cascadia Bridge. I was actually asking him, but thank you. The North American plate here and the Juan de Fuca plate here. This one's sliding up under, and eventually this is going to go down, send a huge wall of water up. That wall will go all the way over to Japan, and the other will come onto our shore within 15 minutes. And when it slips, it will unleash not only a colossal earthquake, but also that tsunami, 700 miles long, and in some places up to a 100-foot high wall of water and whatever it's pushing, like houses and dump trucks and schools. Thousands and thousands will not escape. The New Yorker quotes a FEMA official who says, and I quote, "Our operating assumption is that everything west of Interstate 5 will be toast." Everything west of Interstate 5 is gone. That's Seattle, Tacoma, Portland and Olympia, Salem and Eugene, wiped out altogether.
And I live in Tacoma.
About 7 million people. That's not including tourists. So think of summertime. The New Yorker reports that FEMA calculations indicate the disaster will damage or destroy about 1 million buildings, including 3,000 schools and 1/3 of all fire stations. And perhaps the worst part of all of this, these sorts of earthquakes happen at regular intervals in exactly this part of the world, have forever. On average, according to seismologists, about every 240 years. So when was the last one of these massive 9.2 or so earthquakes? Well, the last one was more than 300 years ago, the year 1700. It struck in the Pacific Northwest and sent a 600-foot wave of water all the way to Japan. So right now, on average, the Pacific Northwest.
Not only did it send a 600-foot wall of water to Japan, think about that. The Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean in the world. That wave of water overtook the Okinawan Islands. It went over it. Like they were completely flooded from that wall of water, all the way from the Cascadia subduction zone. And they say it's overdue again.
Northwest is decades overdue for the really, really big one. Michio Kaku is a physicist and professor at City College of New York. This article is stunning. Is it if it's overstated in any way?
No, the Cascadia Fault is an earthquake waiting to happen. We know it's going to happen with an energy 30 times the maximum energy of the San Andreas Fault. So Hollywood has us brainwashed into thinking the big one is going to be in California. No, the Cascadia Fault would pack energy 30 times the energy that the San Andreas Fault can muster.
The article speaks of a liquefaction of the earth, that part of the earth will turn to liquid.
That's right. We're talking about major energy surges inside the ground that'll cause it to liquefy. We've seen that in Japan. We saw that at Fukushima, and it's almost like quicksand. One day you're walking on solid ground, the next you're falling right into a quicksand.
This earth.
Not only that, they say that it will cause a mega tsunami, which floods the entire Puget Sound. So I was thinking about this one day years ago, because this report is like 10 years old. I was looking at the Narrows Bridge, which, you know, it's just fascinating to look at how the sound and, you know, how all that was created in the first place. And it's like, fuck, man. That they say that whole thing is going to fill with water, and it will be filled with houses and school buses and schools and hospitals and, you know, oil factories. It's not going to be pretty.
Earthquake would last 4 minutes or more, the rattling and the shaking. And then within 15 minutes, they estimate this wall of water in the entire inundation zone, you could have water up to 100 feet high.
That's right. And in the inundation zone, we have 70,000 people that have almost no clue as to what could happen. You know, in Japan, you have to live with earthquakes every day. Children go through tests and drills. People are conscious of this. But in the Pacific Northwest, it barely rates on the radar screen.
There's something that happens before the shaking that we can sense, sensors can pick up. That's an early warning system that they have all over Japan, especially in the north and in the Tokyo area. They've been trying to get it pushed through, look for money for it in the Seattle-Tacoma area, nothing.
That's right. Before the earthquake actually hits, there's a compression wave that is detected by animals, for example. Animals start to act very strange, and we've seen that happen before earthquakes. And then a minute, 2 minutes later, boom, you head for the hills because there's nothing left to do except to go to high ground.
You mentioned what this sort of event has caused in history.
That's right. In the year 1700, there was a massive earthquake and tsunami which surged over Japan. And then running the videotape backwards, you can actually see that in 1700, it originated with a Cascadia fault. And then we physicists can calculate the energy, the magnitude, the dynamics, once we got these two events linked together. And that was only done in the last decade or so.
And you mentioned Mount Everest.
That's right. Mount Everest is also created by the collision of two faults, just like what we have here. The one fault going under, the other fault going over, and that created the Himalayan mountains.
And remember, we have the highest peak in the United States, in the continental United States, Mount Rainier, 14,440 feet. And, you know, that's another thing, too. I call it the trifecta. If, you know, there was an earthquake with the eruption of Mount Rainier and the tsunami, I mean, we don't stand a chance. There's no chance of survival for certain people. It really is just going to depend on where you are when, you know, because all of it's overdue. The earthquake's overdue. The eruption of Mount Rainier is way overdue. You know, we live in a hostile, it's so peaceful and green, the evergreen state, but, you know, the state was created out of chaos, you know. I've heard that about dogs. That's pretty cool. About that with the early warning detection. Yeah. Yep. I know in Thailand, I don't know if that's what he was talking about, but yeah, the elephants ran up into the jungle, which saved a lot of people's lives. There's all kinds of stories of animals saving people's lives. It's weird though. I was at an event. I'm going to say within the last year. I can't remember when it was. And all of a sudden, all the birds were set up by a huge field. All the birds all around started flying at the same time. I was like, holy shit, was there about to be an earthquake or something? Mount Rainier about to explode. And you could just see Mount Rainier right there in the background. It's just huge, you know. But nothing happened. Did Rainier and Mount Hood go off in the 80s? That footage of the whole mountain sliding down crazy. No, that was Mount St. Helens. May 18th, 1980. And that's down south of me, a little southeast. Yeah, that was huge. I remember seeing, you know, I was in Tacoma where I am now, just right down the street when I was 5. See, 73? No, I was 6, about to be 7. And I remember seeing the mushroom cloud from Tacoma, from an apartment bedroom window from like the 2nd or 3rd floor. You could see it looked like a nuclear blast. But I didn't know what it was. You know what I mean? I did know what it was because they told me. Where can you buy an earthquake dog? I think you just, what's up, Magooch? I think you can just train them, you know? It's been 1,000 years since Rainier. That's crazy. Yeah, you know, and on a nice sunny day, you can just see the eruption crater. I mean, and it's huge. you get up there and it is scary looking how big that crater is. And it's on the side of the mountain too. It's like, fuck. And there's like so many rivers that were created from the lava flow. Like it went all the way to the bay. The Nisqually, the Green River, the Puyallup River, all these, there's so many of them. It's like, man. Yeah, it'll go again. There was one dude for Mount St. Helens. There was an old dude that they interviewed. I think we're pretty much done with this article. His name was Harry Truman. Not that Harry Truman, another Harry Truman. He refused to come off of the mountain, this guy. And they found him over a decade later under 12 feet of ash. Let's see here. Let me guess. It's going to be a Red Bull commercial.
And here we go. From beyond
worse. It is probable tonight Spirit Lake is no more. That's the word from the Forest Service. Survey crews say huge pyroclastic flows of hot ash, rock, and gas have enveloped the lake, turning it into a bubbling cauldron of hot debris. We have reports that Spirit Lake Lodge is totally wiped out. Those reports are unconfirmed. As for lodge operator, 84-year-old Harry Truman, we can only surmise.
And if people don't know what a pyroclastic flow is, that's when the eruption of the mountain, this is what happened to Mount St. Helens. It took out the side of the mountain, but the column of ash went straight up into the atmosphere. And there was like no wind. It went straight up. And it gets so heavy, the ash gets so heavy that it can't support itself anymore. So it all comes falling back down. And when it comes down, it brings down gas that's 10,000 degrees or hotter. And so it incinerates everything. That's what takes out the trees. That's why you've seen trees that are they look like toothpicks, just completely just toppled over. And that is exactly what they're talking about, Spirit Lake Lodge. That's where this guy, Harry Truman, was at. And he refused. They tried to get him to leave because they knew the mountain was going to blow up. They had warnings that everybody knew that mountain was going to blow up. They had scientists up there. And he's like, I'm not leaving. He goes, I grew up on this mountain. He goes, I'd be heartbroken without the mountain. He goes, I die anyways. So I'm not leaving. So get the fuck out of here, basically, is what he said. And they found him years later under 12 feet of ash. The motherfucker's a hero in my book.
He has realized his wish to go down with the ship. We understand the area is completely buried beneath 30 feet of mud. I last saw Harry about 2 weeks ago. It was one of many afternoons we'd spent together over the past year, and so I came to know Harry through his salty tales of days gone by, tales of running whiskey, and of the day he settled down. Harry, together with his wife, refused for nearly half a century to be defeated by the elements. Their home was destroyed several times by high winds and fire. Each time they built it back again. But Harry's wife died 5 years ago, and it was because the two had spent their married life and the last days of her life together on the mountain that Harry refused to leave. It was for the love of his wife that Harry spit in the mountain's eye.
No, I'm not going to leave. You're damn right I'm not going to leave. I'm going to stay here. If I left, it'd kill me. If I left this place and lost my home, I'd die in a week. I couldn't live. I couldn't stand it. So I'm like that old captain. By God, I'm going down with the ship. I said, if the damn thing takes this mountain, I'm going along with it. I'd rather be dead than to live without it. That's crazy. Damn stupid, huh?
Okay.
The people see that, they say the craziest man in God's green world, old Truman.
The crazy thing about it is he was such a badass, but at the end of the day, you can only be such a badass. And they found him in his car. He did try to get off the mountain once it blew up. And who wouldn't? It was actually 30 feet of mud. But he did... They found him, maybe they found him 12 years later under 30 feet. It's some crazy number like that. But, and there's another there's another dude who was like a scientist reporter that got stuck on the mountain. He thought he was going to die. He seen day turn to night, and he lived. I think it's this guy. Let's see. What is this, a gambling commercial?
Cover your hands. Reduce the risk. Find solutions here and get products now.
This is a special report of the King Broadcasting Network live from KGW News 8 in Portland, Oregon.
First, we take you live to Amboy, Washington, where reporter Boyd Levitt is standing by in the shadow of Mount St. Helens. Boyd?
For Robin and Ralph, the volcano's blasts have come with a vengeance today. The spectacle of the massive plume is one that few will forget. With a little bit of wind from the west late today, we can get a little better.
This ain't it. Or maybe this is it right here. I think this is it.
Well, dear God, whoever finds this, as you can tell probably from this picture, I'm walking towards the only light I can see on top of a ridge. I can hear the mountain behind me rumbling. I never really thought I'd believe this or say this, but at this moment, I honest to God believe I'm dead.
On he trudged, documenting along the way the full gamut of his emotions, despair and resignation.
Oh, dear God. My God, this is hell. I just can't describe it. It's pitch black. Just pitch black. This is hell on earth I'm walking through.
And later,
one step at a time, if I can just keep walking.
He felt something else on that walk through the blackness.
It's very, very hard to breathe in this. I can't see a thing.
He felt hope.
Yeah, I got the wrong attitude here. I mean, this would be something to tell my grandchildren about. Oh, man. My God, I never realized how badly I wanted to live. Oh, I wanted to live so bad.
Pretty crazy. The ash debris circumnavigated the globe, I think, in 24 hours. It just it went all around the earth. I think they had like piles of ash in Africa from Mount St. Helens, if I remember correctly. But anyway, yeah, it's got me kind of thinking because, that the margin rupture earthquake, that's going to be no joke, man. And like I said, I see all of the sidewalks. I've lived here my whole life. I see the sidewalks doing something weird. I don't know what it is. It's obviously mismanagement. They're not doing anything about it, but I just see like something happening. I don't like it. What do we got? I got a strawberry festival on Sunday, farmer's market tomorrow. Normally I would be at the administration building today, but they're closed because they still got the FIFA thing going on. Thank goodness today is the last. They have stick games all weekend. Today's their last viewing party. Egypt versus Iran is tonight, but they have stick games in the. If anybody knows what stick games is, that's it's a traditional Native American gambling game, 5-on-5, using drums and these bones, and there's a lot of money involved in it. this particular tournament, they don't play around. They had a powwow last weekend, which is it's a whole bunch of dance competitions, Native American dance competitions. They gave away $200,000 in prize money, and then for the stick game, it's $100,000. So, and it's crazy because the stick game lasts for 3 days. I know a lot of you don't know what stick game is. Now we got to go to a stick game. Hold on.
People should absolutely rethink what they know about Harbor Freight Tools. It's a totally different company. My name is Wes Farmelink. I'm
So this guy over here, he's got two little bones in his hand. One of them's got stripes on it, and one of them's just solid white. Now he's mixing them up and he's hiding them. And she's guessing. This lady on the other side is guessing. And then they have these little. It's a little complicated. I don't even know how the whole thing works. But then everybody has a drum. And at some point, they start beating the drum. I used to do this for 3 days. I would not play this game, but I would be a vendor. And you get the sound of that drum just stuck in your head. At some point, you'll have, say, 1,000 people there or more, and everybody there is drumming at the same time, like literally every single person. So it's so loud. Boom, 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 boom. And they play all night long. It's crazy. How come I didn't enter the dance competition? You got to be Native American for that. You got to be a registered, and then they have all these different, and they all get, they're all in the traditional Native American gear. They have, they call like fancy dancers and the chicken dance. And I don't know the names of all of them, but I mean, I'm talking about these, their gear is, it's got to be, some of those people are probably wearing like $10,000 worth of equipment, at least, with all the feathers and everything. It's pretty wild. I used to do powwows and stick games, and I made killer money at it. And I do want to do them again. I just had a falling out with Muckleshoot, so I don't do them anymore. Nice. We had our Strawberry Festival last weekend. How was it, Grateful? Was it busy? Yeah, I got that Sunday. The farmer's market tomorrow. Yeah, so I spent all day yesterday working. I made 60 caramel apples, like 5 bags of pretzel rods, a whole bunch of chocolate peanuts, chocolate covered potato chip bark. Got all that packaged up and ready to sell for Saturday. I'm gonna bring it tomorrow too, but for Sunday for the Strawberry Festival. After this, I got a little bit of running around to do. And yeah, that's it. It's another day. Let me get back to the X-Files here. The videos coming out of Venezuela are crazy. The initial earthquake, initially there wasn't as many people injured or dead as now. It just keeps going up. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. Strawberry Fest is a massive here, 1,000 people for tuna. Ooh, I need to do that one. Yeah, I screwed up. You know, Mike, I don't know. I have to get back on track. I just do, you know, like it's just, everything is just, and it's my own fault, you know, like the Strawberry Festival, a chick offered me from my commercial kitchen, wanted me to be her partner to do this last year. And I said, okay, yeah, let's do chocolate strawberries and lemonade. We'll kill it with that. Well, then when it came down to it, I was super busy that weekend and I backed out. I said, I can't do it. You know, I gave her plenty of notice, but she ended up, and I said, you can do it if you want to. You can do the chocolate strawberries. Well, she did, and she killed it. I should have did it with her. So now she took my 2 ideas, which I can't be mad because I told her she could do it. And so anyway, I signed up for that festival this year, and I was like, I do chocolate strawberries and lemonade. And the lady's like, oh, we already have Star from Mama's Brittle doing both of those. I'm like, yep. So no biggie. So I had to scramble. And then I was like, well, I do huckleberry cheesecakes and all this stuff. So my plan was to do huckleberry cheesecakes. But I don't have huckleberry cheesecakes under my Department of Agriculture license. So technically, I'm not supposed to be selling huckleberry cheesecakes, which I don't sell them at the farmer's market. They don't let me. Somebody else is already doing those. You know, because you got to, you know, especially a cheesecake, it's temperature control. You got to, my license just says chocolate dip strawberries and some chocolate dip products. Right. So anyway, I tell the event coordinator from the Strawberry Festival last month, I said, I do huckleberry cheesecakes, blah, 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 blah. That's what I plan on doing. I even have a refrigerated 3-tier cake display I've never used out in an event. I bought it like 3 or 4 years ago. I paid $500. It was beautiful. Goes down like 36 degrees. That's why I put my cheesecakes in. So I got my plan all set for this event. Well, then I get an email from the health department. Oh, this is Amanda Peters, and this, I can't stand this lady. I've gotten into it with this lady before. Crooked health department. She goes, I got a thing from the Strawberry Festival. You're a food vendor. You didn't submit your food application. What are you doing? What are you selling? And then I go, and I looked it up too. You know, like if you were going to do lemonade, it's $120, but you have to do it 14 days in advance. So with the late fee, this is how crooked they are. It would have been $420. Not even worth it. Right? So I'm like, fuck. So I tell her, I was like, well, and at this point, I still plan on doing my huckleberry cheesecakes. I say, well, I'm just going to do my prepackaged items. You know, and I have a food processing, and she already knows all this. I've dealt with her before. And I'll just go under the Department of Agriculture. And then all you have to do then, since I'm already licensed, all you have to do is fill out a free courtesy application. So, but then she comes back with, okay, yeah, that's fine, as long as everything you're selling is on your license. And then at that point, I'm like, fuck. I already know, because that event coordinator was so excited about me selling huckleberry cheesecakes that's what she told the health department. And that lady, I know she would do anything to fucking catch me doing something I wasn't supposed to be doing. So I had to pivot. So I'm just doing strictly what's legal under my license. At least that's what I'm going to tell you guys, at least for the first couple hours. That's what's the plan for the event. But I did contact the Department of Agriculture, and I said I want to put cheesecakes on my license. So, which is not a big deal, but it's just, thank goodness for AI, because you contact the Department of Agriculture, and you sent me on Facebook later. The Strawberry Festival is massive here. Okay, thanks. Great. I'll check it out. I contacted the Department of Agriculture, and I tell them I want to put huckleberry cheesecake. I just want to put cheesecakes on my license. So you have to submit. There's a form you fill out, Then you need to submit an ingredient label, which that in itself, if you've never dealt with it, that's a very daunting task until you learn how to do it. But even then, typing it out for most people is just, I mean, hydrogenated polyemulsification, sorbate, lecithin, that type of stuff. You have to put all the ingredients down. They needed that. Then they needed a flow diagram, which from start to finish, how you go about doing everything. That's a lot of work. It took me about 60 seconds, I would say, literally, to complete that with AI, which would have taken me, it could take a couple hours. It could take you the whole day, depending on how slow you are. I'm talking about, I got it down to a science. I just start. First thing you do is you take pictures of the ingredients on the back of whatever you're using with your phone, load it into AI. Then you just start talking. This is what I need for the Department of Agriculture. Boom, boom, boom. Then with the flow diagram, blah, 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 blah. They just spit it all out, copied, boom, sent it off. And then they already contacted me back, which I have to fix it just now. There's one thing I got to fix. She goes, this is awesome. I'm not able to open up. I had to send her 3 things. One of them she wasn't able to open. So I got to fix that. And then then they come to the kitchen. They inspect you. They just physically watch you make it. Make sure you know what you're doing about temperature control. And then I'll be licensed to sell them in the stores and do the markets, which is a good thing. So, it's just, those type of things can be very daunting. It's a lot of paperwork, and it's a lot of, but like I said, I've using AI. That's the one thing that I kill it with the labels and stuff, especially because otherwise you got to sit there with, forget about it. It's just, all right, where are we at? Let's see here. So they're protesting in Pioneer Square in Seattle about, I don't know if it's something about Israel, I believe. This is like a recipe for disaster right here, Egypt versus Iran, because Egypt is linked to Israel in some ways, the Egyptian plains, and there's just something there. I don't like it. They're protesting. It's always a possibility for something bad to happen. Yeah, tomorrow, before Iran takes on Egypt in the World Cup for Seattle's Pride Night, the Something Football League, a local soccer club that glorifies terrorism and the Islamic Republic of Iran, is inviting supporters to participate in a protest game near the stadium, calling for FIFA. Israel's team did not qualify for the World Cup tournament. So this guy claims to be an award-winning host for KVI Seattle, which I've never heard of, has the Jewish flag on his description, or the Israel flag. I mean, he's a Zionist, of course. And, this is what these people do. Not an American. Us real Americans, we don't do stuff like this, man. All of that stuff, including the pride and all of it, is orchestrated by those people, man. I'm so sick of it.
Gaza and Lebanon are being bombed. Gaza and Lebanon are being bombed. If you love football and you're tired of seeing it hijacked by Donald Trump and FIFA, come join us in the People's Game. We're doing a 3v3 soccer tournament Friday, June 26th at 6 p.m. in Pioneer Square.
Please bring your keffiyehs, bring your flags, and all of your soccer jerseys. And if you're going to be playing, bring your friends, bring a team, and some shoes that you're confident playing football in.
Join us for the People's Game this Friday at 6 p.m. Pioneer Square to raise the call of kicking Israel out of FIFA now.
So, you know, it's not about soccer or football, whatever you guys call it. You know, I think a lot of us call it soccer over here. It's football. It's not about, you know, this is crazy, man. Oh yeah, when do we get to see the dancing Assad again? Did you show it? No, I did not show it. Let me see here. Just for you grateful Army Patty. Let me see if I can I gotta get to my messages. Where's he at? Mm-hmm. There's the music to it. See if I can email it to myself. Well, I bet I could. You know, I got a better idea. Okay. Give me 1 sec. I gotta load it up. Where's it at? It's sending. I sent it. Where's it at? Oh, there we go. Okay, we got it. The video that Patty and Sweet Tea thought was me. Where's the sound at? That's as good as I could probably dance too, to be honest. I mean, one sec, guys. My roommate's outside making noise. No, it sounds like he's not doing good. But yeah, that's from Todd, Father. Hilarious. Todd finally felt sorry for me and told me it wasn't. Yeah, right. I know. I didn't even know that you guys thought. You know, I just took it for granted that you guys didn't know that was me. He's a jackass. Every time my roommate passes by my window, I got to mute myself. He's just, I'm sorry to keep talking about him. The poor guy, something's wrong with him. Loud. What we got here? Yeah, this is during the Venezuelan earthquake. They're just getting off a boat
Dios santo. No te puedo creer, esto nunca había pasado en la vida. Mierda. Mira todos los edificios, eso se murió un gentío, pues. Ay, Dios santo. La bolsa está ahí, huevón.
Crazy. Definitely me. Shut up. Yep. Sucker. But that is as good as I could dance right there. I mean, that's all I would do. I couldn't even do that good, probably. Charlie Kirk video. I don't think I'm going to skip this one.
That's a crater. That means that's the point of impact. The cross then ricochets the bullet upward.
I mean, it's crazy how far they've come in that investigation. This one is it turns my stomach, man. You know, they talk. I just don't get it. I don't even want to play that one. I just don't get it. You know, our government, you know, they are the problem. If our government was not ran by satanic pedophiles, we wouldn't have to hear about this kind of stuff because it doesn't make any sense at all. And the way they talk about it is the same way they talk about the Epstein files with these kids. I'll play the video, but I'm gonna play it later. It pisses me off.
James and Eric.
Okay. We got Erica Kirk and her pastor, James Caddis, whatever his name is. It's a lot to unpack here on this video, guys. Always in the bushes with, yeah. Osada, you have a big event this weekend. Some good. I'm hoping, Patty. The weather's going to be nice. It's going to be 63 degrees. I heard from a lady from a food truck yesterday at my kitchen that it's a really good event with a couple thousand people. It's from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Sunday. And then I have the farmer's market tomorrow. It's rainy right now. It's going to be a little cold tomorrow for lemonade, but I'm still going to do it. But yeah, I'm hoping that the Strawberry Festival on Sunday is really good. It's supposed to be. There's going to be a lot of kids there. So I'm going to bring a bunch of business cards, hand them out, just kind of hopefully, you know, I'll make more money in, you know, networking at a place like that. I just feel it based on what the lady was telling me. So I should do pretty good. You know, I made a bunch of caramel apples and a bunch of pretzel rods and a bunch of candy bark and chocolate peanuts and chocolate potato chips. And I might make something else too. I just don't know. I don't know what. Tato Cletus, we say hi, you're in there and try, right? Stay out of the sun, you. I got to get a hold of him, Johnny. I have his number. I think the lemonades will sell no matter what the weather. People get sick of just water. Yeah. Well, the farmer's market that I do on Saturday, tomorrow, it's from 9. It opens at 9 a.m. and they'll start selling to the vendors at like 8. So, you know, on a cold day, like in the morning, it'll be like, let me just see what tomorrow looks like real quick. It'll be 56 degrees. It'll be partly sunny, it says. A little bit of wind, at least no rain. So it starts out, that's definitely coffee weather. But then by noon to 2, it's 60. So yeah, now I'll definitely go prepared. That's for sure. You know, lemonade, it's a lot better to be overly prepared, overstocked than understocked. You know what I mean? It's pretty cheap to stock your lemonade, except for unless you're selling huckleberries. I spent $200 this week on huckleberries. So, I got to get a hold of him. Who are we talking about? Cletus. Oh, yeah, Cletus and Hey Teacher. I hope she's doing good. And what's his name? Cotrain. Where's Cotrain at? Anyway, let's listen to Erica Kirkwood. This is just so creepy, guys.
Hey, James and Erica, thanks for doing this today. My daughter's got a question for you, but we lost my husband unexpectedly about 8 months ago. And so I am a young widow, and it's because of COVID. So we are.
And this says right here, Erica traveled the world. Erica traveled the world around COVID because she said it didn't exist. So
here I brought because of COVID. So we are here. I brought all my kids here because we need this and we need this community. But she's got a question for you that I think is a very good one.
Okay.
So my question is, whenever you get to heaven, is it like a spiritual place or is it like a physical, real place?
It is more real than what you experience in the physical realm. Without getting emotional, let me just say this. Congratulations. Right? Congratulations to your husband and congratulations to your dad. God's good. And you got to recognize that. And I can say the same thing for my father. When he went to go be with the Lord, he experienced reality like he'd never experienced before. And that's the joy that we have. That's why we look forward to these things. These things are exciting. God has the greatest for us.
Is that what you tell somebody, a girl that lost her dad? Congratulations. Congratulations to your dad. He gets to go experience reality. What?
My question is, whenever you get to heaven, is it like a spiritual place or is it like a physical, real place?
It is more real than what you experience in the physical realm. Without getting emotional, let me just say this. Congratulations. Right? Congratulations to your husband.
I just can't with these people. They are just absolutely disgusting. Johnny, you need a huckleberry lemon gelato. Oh, there you go. Huckleberry lemonades are awesome. Right, Grateful? How the fuck would this have a shot? No. They are so weird. It's just, you know what this is? The thing is all of these people are connected to child trafficking. All of them. Every last one. And it goes back to like Eastern Europe. And it's just, I could talk for hours about how it's just a global network. But, you listen to the tactics of these people. The Rob McCoy, the Victor Marks, this guy, Erica Kirk. Imagine you're just a kid. You're just a kid that don't have parents, and you just, Like, these are the people that those kids don't stand a chance because these people don't have any, There's no lowness to that they will stoop. They're not normal. They all keep forgetting about Erica and her trying to get with the 15-year-old. They all forgot. Exactly. And so they're all connected to trafficking, and if you watch the Candace thing, you know what I'm talking about. But what does that mean? Right? And so you keep that, keep that in the back of your head.
1,000 kids missing.
When we stepped in here, we had 450,000 kids missing. 450,000 kids that were given to sponsors that weren't vetted. No home checks. No one was going by to see if they're where they're supposed to be, not even knowing if they're in their same state, not even to see if the sponsor was who they were at all. We've recovered 147,000, and all of them didn't have to be recovered. I'm not saying all of them had recovered. Some of them were where they were supposed to be. They were with a family member, and they appeared to be doing okay. But we've had some horrific cases. There's one that's kind of been out in the media a little bit, where there's a ring of several adults that were keeping kids in an underground bunker in a dungeon. And the most horrific things that I pray to God that you guys don't have to see, because it permanently changes you. The stuff that these adults put kids as young as 2 to as old as 12 through, you can't make a horror story that bad. We've had some young ladies that we have rescued that reports, and these aren't young ladies; these are girls, being raped 600 to 700 times, being locked in a hotel room, and having to service 15 to 20 men. These are girls. And I hate to use the word service, but I don't know what other you can use. They were being raped 15 to 20 times a day, day after day after day.
Yeah, I can't even stand to listen to any more of it. And so this is the part that just confuses me. I don't understand what he's saying there. I don't get it. That doesn't make any sense. 450,000 kids. Like, what are we talking? You know what I mean? Like this. It's no wonder that they're all, like it's so bad that they put all these people in power to, it's like their football team to play defense, to shield themselves from this, the people that have done this. Like truly, like castles in Europe and, these far away, Epstein Islands and different places. Is that what, I mean? Like, it doesn't, I can't wrap my head around it. Like everybody had to have known about that in power. They, and it still has to be going on because no one's, what I mean? We don't even know what, it's so fucked up. I used to think that PERS were small. Yeah, not anymore, right? He's got all the numbers. How many hours does that equate to? Yeah. Yeah, and the thing is that who is this guy? Secretary Mullen, Department of Homeland Security. Okay, so this is the guy who took over for Kristi Noem, I believe. Right, the border, down at the border and all this kind of stuff. Remember when who was the guy? McAfee, that weirdo from that created the antivirus, and he went down to Belize and Mexico, and they raided it. The government raided his house, but he had given him a bunch of laptops, and on the laptops he gave to the government, he could spy on them. He wanted to find out why they, what they had on him and why they raided his house, and he said he could never found that out. But he found out somebody was cheating on somebody, and he also found out that the defense minister of Belize was a super huge child trafficker, and he named a couple other people too. So when we say global network, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about like defense ministers and heads of Department of Homeland Security people, DEA, all, you know what I mean? Like that's the network. It's not some fucking, people with turbans on or wearing masks or, you know what I mean? It's people in suits and ties and dresses and, they own buildings and jets and all, you know what I mean? That's why there's no accountability, because it's the people that are stealing from us are helping us look for it. You know, the people that stole our money are helping us look for it. That's what's going on here. The people that did that to the kids are now trying to help us find out what happened. You know what I mean? I wish we could start the overhaul of the judges, letting the violent offenders go, and keeping people. Yeah, for loan sharking. Yeah, exactly. It's all backwards. Everybody's a little bit of a perv, if you ask me. It's human nature. It's just the ones that let it control them and do fucked up, disgusting, evil shit that are the issue. Yeah. You know, it's crazy. You know, well, there's different levels here because, you know, there's the spectrum of people that are just, they act on their impulses and their thoughts are just all fucked up and they're just weird people. And, you know, there's people like that in society, you know. That's why we have prisons and mental institutions and the electric chair and stuff like that. That's always going to be there. But this are the people that are supposed to be protecting us, and busting those people that I just talked about is a no-brainer. They're like, most of them would not even have a chance to operate if our government was fully focused on getting people like that, and instead of covering their own tracks for doing it themselves. That's the problem. You know, and that's why they allow the average perpetrator to do what they do with very little accountability. If you look at it, you know, nationally, you've got the Alex Rosens and people, you know, the Chris Hansons and these people, you know, it's for TV, it's for show. There's really no there's no network out there trying to bust these people, because the network that would be busting them is actually covering up for the people that are doing it. It's wild. Anyway, we'll move on. This is crazy. Dustin Poirier retired from the UFC. He gets kicked off a flight. And now he wants to fight with the cops. He got arrested. I think he's already out of jail. But Dustin, my man, please quit drinking.
Let's go, big dog. What's going on? What's up? Bunch of hoes. Let's go. Let's go. Relax. No, they fucking lying motherfuckers. Yeah, pull me off the plane. All my boys went to the fucking crib. Now what the fuck?
And this is why he got
all right. You Dustin Poirier? Man, fuck you, bro. All right, just relax. Man, fuck you and fuck her and fuck her. I'll fight you right now. No, I don't want to fight, bro. I'll go with you right now. Bro, I don't want to fight, bro. I don't want to fight.
Go.
I don't want to fight.
Let's go.
Radio, have you?
Yeah, tell him, come on.
Get a couple of
because it's gonna be bad.
Bro, just
it's gonna be bad, my nigga.
No, bro.
What's up?
Bro, relax.
You wanna fight?
Radio, start several units.
How you boys not gonna fight something? That's pussy.
Bro.
You pussy, boy. You pussy.
Bro, relax, bro. Relax, bro.
You gonna taste it?
Relax.
Bro, I'm gonna bang you up.
Bro, relax.
I'm gonna do it.
Just relax.
Give me a good one.
Yo. They kicked him off the flight. This guy's a UFC fighter.
Bitch ass fucking bitches.
You know.
What's going on, brother? Talk to me. Man, the bitch is fucking lying hoes, man. Let's go. Arrest me. Let's go. Let's go. Arrest me. That's the best way, dog. That's the best way. That's the best way. Hey, pound it.
All right, man.
Man, you did a great job, bro. You did a great job. You did what you could. Let's go.
He said you did what you could.
Big dog.
What's going on?
What's up? Bunch of hoes. Let's go. Let's go.
Damn. Not in the limelight anymore, not handling it well. Been working with a cuss, come back to take a peek at chat, and of course Johnny has the hots for Erica. That's hilarious. They were scared to tell. Oh, yeah. You know, I think that's a black cop. He's like, it's going to be bad for you, my nigga. He said that to a black cop and two black chicks standing there. You don't want to fuck with Dustin, man. He would probably fuck that cop up. He needs to quit drinking for sure. I mean, that's, and he said it. I watched an interview with him. I think it was on Ariel Helwani. And he was like, yeah, he's like, it gets bad for me when, you know, when I don't have anything to do, you know, something. Nobody wants to be the guy to have to try to put hands on him for sure. Yeah. And, you know, the thing is, too, is he runs a foundation and stuff. You know, they're like big down in Louisiana. I think they do something for kids or free school lunches or I don't know what they do. Can't be acting like that. Senator Ted Cruz from Texas talking about the number one threat to America is his own party.
We are seeing on the right a cancer on the right. And it is rising anti-Semitism on the right. Look, the left, a decade ago, anti-Semitism began to rise, and the Democrat leaders.
So hold on, Ted Cruz. You're saying that, you know, it's already given that the left is anti-Semitic, according to him. But now the right, which is his side, there's a faction of the right that is anti-Semitic. These people, man.
There's basically looked the other way and just hoped it would go away. And it didn't. It's consumed their party. There is a very real pro-Hamas contingent of the Democrat Party.
I don't even know what anti-Semitic means, Ted Cruz. I just know that, I'll just speak for myself. We're just tired of getting Jewed. We're tired of a bunch of Jew motherfuckers Jewing us all the time. And we're getting Jewed out of our money. We're getting Jewed out of our jobs. We're getting Jewed out of our freedom. We're getting Jewed out of the real stories of what happened to Charlie Kirk and the Twin Towers. You know, Jew. We're getting Jewed. I don't know what anti-Semitism means, though. Maybe the government didn't suck on Israel's asshole. People would be feeling this way. Exactly. We're tired of getting Jewed. I mean, that's just what it comes down to. Tired of being Jewed. What do we got here? It's just, it's kind of creepy to see these videos. This is just more and more footage coming out of the day Charlie Kirk was shot. It's not him getting shot. It's just.
For this one, we'll do the Utah Valley one. That's where we're at. Now we go. Single file photo.
How are you guys? You want some selfies? We'll do them really quick. We have to go through this. Thank you so much for being here.
You guys.
Love you.
A lot of people think that, see this guy with the glasses right here, the guy next to him, these guys are definitely deep state. A lot of people think Rick Cutler, who's the guy right here, they call him Palm Pistol Rick or something like that, that he might have been the one that fired the bullet. Yeah. You know what's crazy about the day that Charlie Kirk was shot is there were actually police officers there, like university. I don't know if they were university cops, or city cops or who they were, or state cops or what, but they were uniformed police officers with guns. There was an Asian one in particular. You know, when they arrested George Zinn, who was like in, you know, a few rows up, center stage from Charlie, a little bit off to his left. And he stands up and his pants fall down. All the cops focused on that dude, not Tyler Robinson. And then George Zinn went to jail for child porn on his phone. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, guys.
Active shooter. Oh my God. Come on. Let's get a good see. Huh? I don't think it's a down.
That's Phil Lyman. I don't know what he was doing there. George in. Is this it? Anyway, we'll move on. We know there was a lot of fuckery there that day. I'm playing this real quick. This is Sophie Rain, OnlyFans model. I think she's got to only be like 18 or 19.
I grew up Christian my entire life. I remember like that was the one thing I had in my life was my relationship with God. And honestly, like we have a great relationship. I know I make mistakes every day, like everyone sins, and you know, we're tight, you know. He's got me. If anything fails, he's got me.
Do you think that, like, to juxtapose your job as a creator on OF with some sort of Christianity, like there could be some sort of contention there?
I don't believe so. I don't look at it like that at all. And I just think like I think it's just outdated and a lot. It's the stigma that
I'm going to ask, what is Sophie? I don't even know how to spell her name. Sophie Rain's net worth and how old? She's 22. She is estimated to be between worth 5 and 10 million. She has generated staggering gross earnings of over 90 million across her career on OnlyFans. So she's 22. You know, supposedly an NBA player offered her 15 million to take her virginity. Yeah. And I heard that the IRS is the only one that wins in that situation because you have to pay taxes on that. The thing is that, you know, I've never been to OnlyFans, but I feel like, and I know it was owned by a Jew, that, you know, this is the same people. This is all connected, guys. All of this is connected. Long story short, it's another extension of these the satanic pedophiles that want to create an illusion that American girls as young as 18, 22 years old can make millions of dollars by degrading themselves online. You too can make millions of dollars. All you have to do is get naked on camera, play with your feet, you know, whatever they do, whatever the fuck they do on there. And if you look, you know, it's nothing more than porn. It's the porn industry in disguise, right? I mean, that's what it is. I'm sure there's lots of porn on OnlyFans, and it's a trap, and it's disgusting. And I just personally feel like these people like her, and there's so many others, and not just on OnlyFans and all walks of life, that they get put up. They get put on a pedestal. She didn't earn that money. I truly don't believe that she made so much money on OnlyFans because of her looks. I feel like she was put in a position at the top of OnlyFans so they can push their agenda, further push their agenda. Because now she has a lot of power and influence. So what she says matters, especially to young girls that look up to her, that want to make millions of dollars. They hang on her every word, probably. I just see the writing on the wall with people like her. You know, we could do a lot better in America than this type of fucking garbage. You know, if I was in charge, OnlyFans would not be allowed. We wouldn't have that shit. You know, a lot of people probably don't know who Brandon Tatum is. He is a I think he's black, but he wants to be a Jew. He wants to be Israel. He loves Erica. Anybody that goes against the official narrative, he thinks is evil, all this kind of stuff. Tucker had the #1 rated television show of all time. I mean, he's the guy, he's the guy. Like if one person just can start talking, he's the guy. And they kicked him off. And so for this guy he's just a little bitch. I fucking can't stand. I'm not going to play the whole thing. This is just Israel, these people, the Zionists, their tactics, how they talk.
2026 is too much for you to bear. You a sorry son of a gun. And if I ever see Tucker Carlson his face, I will put my nose to your nose and say you a sorry piece of crap. I'm sick of y'all. You hate this country. You a devil. If you're telling people don't vote for the Republicans, who they gonna vote for? Democrats? You want them to vote for these people that hate America, pushing communism because you mad at Jews. I hate these people. Y'all gotta pray for me. I cannot stand it.
Go to Israel then. Move to Israel then if you hate it.
You guys are just as bad as these leftist nut jobs ruining America. I'm not a Republican anymore. I think about, because I know obviously that shut your wit. You all, I would have called you the B word, but I'm not. Somebody call it for me. I'm sick of these people, man. They lying to the young people.
He's all worked up. What it's just he's such a theater kid. You know what I mean? He's such a theater kid. This is the dude that will just, he's the water boy. He is literally, he's the water boy. He's the dude, he's that special kid, holding a water bucket for the football team. What do you think she's making a difference in society, making the world a better place by flashing her coochie? Yeah, right. Today, he's in his feelings. Yeah, he's this guy is too much, man.
Of course, Charlie was killed by. And let me tell you something. Put his face back on the screen. Let me say something else that's cowardice. How you gonna speak at Turning Point USA and you sorry mother, you ain't stood up for Erica Kirk one time. You ain't stood up for Erica one time. And then you got people on your show that trash her every day.
Good God, man. That dude. He is. Could you imagine him in a relationship? What it's like, whoever he's with. Wow. Palm Beach Pete was running for mayor for Palm Beach, and the elections committee told him, hold up, there's a problem with your DNA. What?
Guys, it's Palm Beach Pete, and I'm really pissed. I got a letter from the Division of Elections from the state of Florida regarding the irregularities concerning my DNA test, and they're asking me to suspend my campaign and take a step back. I'm not going to suspend the campaign. I'm getting legal involved, but I'll be back. I'm going to be traveling for a while, so you're not going to see me around for a bit, but I'll make the best mayor Palm Beach ever had, and I'll fight this tooth and nail. Peace out, Palm Beach Pete.
Palm Beach Pedo. Tucker would slap the shit out of homeboy. Yeah. Good old Officer Brandon Tatum, whatever his name is. This world is just so crazy. Like, where do we even put this one? Palm Beach Pete. You know what I mean? It's like, I just can't, There's Epstein's lookalike. Yeah. And so what does that mean, that there's a problem with the DNA? People want him to do the DNA to prove he's not Jeffrey Epstein. And now the elections committee says, hold on, there's a problem with your DNA. Like, what? It does not, it just, you know what I mean? They just don't care. They'll just say anything. They'll just say anything to us now. They'll just say anything. Hey, Santa Claus is real. Everything's real. You know. Oh, that's Nick. That's here. What's up, Nick? Famous for looking like the biggest, worst pedo ever. Yeah. His DNA says he's a lizard people. It's just weird, right? That it's a problem with his DNA. You can't make it up. Well, somebody made it up. Robots will be taking jobs soon. If we haven't already started. Crazy looking. I mean, I'm sure it's an AI video. I don't know if it is or not, but it does move like a real. And I know they do have those robots. So clear to see the government is lying. 100, Nick. They're lying, and they're lying bad. You know, and it's not just that they're lying; they're inciting violence. You know, they're begging us to start fighting with each other. You know, black versus white, gay versus straight, left versus right, white, Jew versus Islam. You know what I mean? Tommy versus Thindu. Paris Hilton was presented the ball at the World Cup.
Pochettino talking about it, a number of people, the team, the players. I know what it takes to win a World Cup, and you need every single player together, united, but having that belief as well that you can go on and do something really special. And I love to see what I'm seeing from this Pochettino.
Oh, there we have Paris Hilton. Venezuela. You know, one thing you'll never hear reported on mainstream, but you'll always hear, not always, but at a lot of those major earthquakes, people will start talking about HAARP and how the skies have been really weird leading up to a major event like that. So can they cause an earthquake? Probably. The day that Trump was shot at Butler, Pennsylvania, it was a day, I don't know if it's Friday or Saturday, that Charlie Kirk always kept his phone off. But for whatever reason, that specific day, Erica told him that God wanted him to have his phone with him that day.
But I found something that could suggest Erica, his wife, had prior knowledge of at least some of the things that happened around him leading up to the 10th of September. Not small things. Let me play that clip and we take it from there. We are traveling back in time and Charlie is talking about Donald Trump's unaliving attempt.
Tell us what your initial reaction was that night.
It was a really strange day. I usually turn my phone off on Saturdays. I honor the Shabbat, but I think it's important that we Christians do. And yet I had my phone on because I was trying to help make J.D. Vance the Vice President of the United States. So it's just had some calls to make. Let's just put it that way.
We'll put it that way.
And so my phone was on, and Erica, my wife, was like, "Yeah, I think God wants you to have your phone on today." I was like, "Okay, sure." So we went down to our complex has this big gym, and I had my daughter in my arms, and I just turned to the television screen. And because I saw Trump take the stage, okay, whatever. And then, 10 minutes, I just turned to the screen, and all of a sudden, there's a bunch of agents around Trump. And I'm like,
Do you hear the pop, pop,
no,
pop?
no, there's no audio because it's a gym.
Okay, so there's no audio.
Yeah, so
you
I'm
can't-
looking at this
You're
without,
looking at it, and you're
and
like,
so my initial reaction was, oh, this is like 2016. Remember when all the agents came around Trump?
Yeah.
Al's story was the lead, and it was a false alarm in the crowd. I was like, okay, this is just like a false alarm thing. I was like, wait a second, like he has blood on him. And so I'm walking across. It was like a movie, walking across this gym to the screen, and I get right up to it, and there is bloody Donald Trump defiantly putting his fist up. Immediately, I have my phone, and I go in the chat. I said, guys, something is very wrong. Very wrong. I was like,
So his wife, Erica, casually goes, God wants you to have your phone on today.
You know, it just goes back to, I just don't like when I hear Charlie Kirk say that kind of stuff, because I just there's still a little part of me that I just don't believe anything about this. You know, obviously there's a cover up, obviously. But how far does the cover up really go? Are we really living in the Truman Show? You know what I mean? Is he in on it? Was he in on this? When I hear him tell that story, I call bullshit. I just do. You know, I call bullshit. I think he's lying to us. But that's just me. The attack in Moscow, if you're talking about the one where it blew the lid off of that thing, Gianni, that was flipping crazy. Unless there was another one just recently. But yeah, that was wild. People are nuts. The world is in utter chaos.
There's a lake in America so deep scientists still haven't mapped the bottom. It's not man-made. It's not fully understood. It's darker than the deep ocean. No rivers flow in and none flow out. Just a silent body of water sitting inside an extinct volcano. At 1,949 feet, it's the deepest lake in the US and one of the clearest on Earth. You can see over 100 feet down, but then the light vanishes. No life, no current. And near the bottom, a giant ancient tree has been floating vertically for over a century. Scientists call it the Old Man of the Lake. No one knows how it's still upright. People have reported lights, objects vanishing, submersibles malfunctioning at 19 feet. Even NASA once studied it to simulate missions to Europa, Jupiter's icy moon. To some, it's just a lake. To others, it's a portal into something colder, darker, and far older than we understand. This is Crater Lake, and it doesn't want to give up its secrets.
Crater Lake in Oregon, just not too far from me. It's America's deepest lake and one of the clearest bodies of water formed in the caldera of Mount Mazama, which erupted 7,700 years ago. I've never been there. I would like to go. That's pretty cool. A bouncer in San Diego got arrested after tasing somebody in point blank range to the face. Look at that. You can see that thing. I don't know if that's the light. That might be the laser. That's the laser light, actually, from the smoke. That red thing. The projectile's right there. That hits him basically in the eyeball. That's crazy. What a fucking... yeah. No, he could be blinded. He could have killed that guy. I should go there and see if I feel anything weird. Yeah, I would love to. I think I will. See how far it is from here. I don't even know where it's at. In Oregon. I have a feeling it's more southern Oregon. Maps. I'm going to say 7 hours from here. Crater Lake, Oregon. Crater Lake, Oregon. I was close. 6 hours and 27 minutes. 384 miles. Yep. Pretty much, and it's not southern Oregon, but definitely not North Oregon. Crazy. Diamond Lake. Yeah, that's quite a drive. I am going to go check it out one day. We'll go check it out one day. You know, laser is an acronym. Light amplified by because it's LASER, light amplified by the stimulated emission of radiation. Something like that. Light amplification stimulated by the emission of radiation. That's what laser stands for. Pretty sure. People think that earthquakes in Venezuela were a test and that they're pointing straight at Area 51. Sure they are.
People are saying what happened in Venezuela wasn't an earthquake. It was a warning. They have the tech, and they're starting to test it again.
A sudden burst of seismic activity near one of the world's most secretive military sites is now raising new speculation and triggering conspiracy theories about covert nuclear testing. At least 17 earthquakes have struck near the highly classified Area 51 in Nevada within just 24 hours.
The Air Force has gotten great value out of HARP in the past. We took over from the Navy and managed it and actually did a number of experiment campaigns up there and have finished our work that we're interested in doing up there. We've moving on to other ways of managing the.
Yeah, HARP is a whole thing. All right, Gianni, 11:30. Have a good one. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you soon. There's a great documentary called Holes in Heaven. Let me see if it's on YouTube. Just skip through this video real quick.
Back by this high energy beam, it's heating up, and all of the molecules in that ionosphere region are absorbing energy out of that radio beam. And if they pick the right frequency to push that plume out into space, that energy may discharge back out of the ionosphere, back down the radio beam, and strike the Earth. And it would be about 100 times the energy released out of a thunderbolt. And that's how much energy would be released.
I've talked about HARP and some of the problems they perceive.
And yeah, so what you're looking at in the background there is HARP. And it's a 12 by 12 grid. There's 144 of those antennas. And they work together to send a huge megawatt beam of electricity, of energy, up into the ionosphere, and then it bounces back down to the ground. And, you know, there's all kinds of reports on it and different things that they've admitted to. The Air Force owns it now. It was like some type of Tesla technology, or the oil companies invented it, I think, in the 60s to look for oil in the ground, oil and gold. But then the Air Force bought the patents. Jesse Ventura tried to go up there one day. They wouldn't let him in on his show. But they do admit that that HARP can move clouds. They can. That's why the documentary is called Holes in Heaven, because they can create an opening in the clouds, and that's how people up there know when HARP is activated, because you can see a hole of blue sky open up out of cloud cover, and they need that, they said, because it interferes with like satellite communication and different things. I don't know exactly. It's all fascinating. I haven't heard anything about the scientists that have disappeared lately. I guess they want us to ignore it. Yeah, 100%. I'm getting screamed at by a guy in India. Kill me now. Oh, no. Fake a disconnect. Yes. Oh, my gosh. Those guys are the worst. Somebody here in Washington State on Whidbey Island was storing fireworks in their house for a firework display show, and their house blew up. I don't think anybody was seriously injured, thank God. But except for the house. I knew a guy that I worked with at a pizza place, Nick, where one of his roommates blew their house up. He killed himself. He was making pipe bombs. And my buddy Nick was at his girlfriend's house. There was 3 of them that lived there. And the one dude, his girlfriend came downstairs and seen the 3rd roommate making what looked to be like pipe bombs on the table. So she told her boyfriend, and they called the police. And then there was a standoff, and he ended up blowing himself up. I think he like laid on it in the hallway or something, and it killed my buddy's cat. And he lost everything he owned because of that fucking explosion. Fucked up. Remember the SNL skit, Take a Pill? No. Take a Pill. Let's see here. Let me see if this is it. Pretty sure I know what you're talking about now. I used to love Saturday Night Live. What happened? You got to be kidding me. That suntan spray shit is the death of me. If it ain't lotion, I can't use it.
Allergy season is here, and advertisers are inundating us with ads for new prescription drug remedies. Here
Is this it?
is our resident prescription drug expert, Colette Reardon.
Hi, Carl. Carl, can you believe all the choices out there for allergy relief, huh? It's a good time to be medicated. Good time, good time. You got Allegra, you got Tavis D, Zyrtec. Little Johnny London's got my head spinning about Claritin D. It's all good.
So I see.
But heck, allergy season, allergies can be brutal, especially around the holidays, Carl. And this last one, what a doozy.
You mean Easter?
That's her.
Too funny. Who else? So, or you said, Take a Pill. Take a Pill, Saturday Night Live. Let's try it again. Is it this one? Good morning, meth. There's so many good ones. Saturday Night Live was the best. Maybe it was Fridays. I'm trying to remember. No worries. I used to love watching Saturday Night Live when I was a kid. So funny. All right, what do we have here? Colorado is in the news. Anti-Defamation League CEO Jonathan Greenblatt announces a lawsuit against a Colorado middle school for playing a game called Jew Touch Tag. He wants every teacher to be trained to make sure this never happens again. Oh, what a fucking Jew.
Severe anti-Semitism and harassment at this Colorado middle school.
yeah.
What happened to that student?
It's a crazy case. We had a 7th grader who for 2 years was mercilessly bullied, harassed, and physically assaulted, and the school did nothing. Literally, the school heard from the student, heard from the parents. The Boulder police had to be called in at one point when his classmates tied a cord around his neck like a noose, yanked him back onto the floor. This is a middle school student. And the words that they use, I can't repeat on air, but it was a pattern of behavior. And so, we're suing the school.
This is so sad. They played a game called Jew Touch Tag.
Yeah, Jew Tag. Where, again, this kid was harassed incessantly by his classmates, and the school did nothing. So we filed this case. I'm glad Boulder Valley District School System's already reached out to us. But proof's in the pudding. Like, I want to see every teacher get trained to make sure that, again, they don't accept anti-Semitism. Because I don't think if this was a student of any other...
You know, and I've been saying this because I got these guys pegged. These people that represent the Zionists, because, you know, I always joke around when I say Jew. I don't know nothing about, I'm not smart enough to know about religions. I don't even know if being a Jew is a religion or what exactly what it means. But these people, the Zionist satanic pedophile group, which this guy's part of, his masters are, ask him about black people and tell him don't lie, tell the truth. Because I'm telling you right now, I guarantee these are the same people that put on Chud the Builder and has him going out there telling black people, don't chimp out. These are the same people that created the psyop of Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf, black versus white, black kid versus white kid. They're begging us for a race war. The dude that George Floyd, I mean, the list goes on, you know. And when you look at the way that these guys, what they think about, I mean, anybody that isn't part of their group is considered less than human. But certain ethnicities like black, they really just, they treat them like seriously like subhuman. So pay attention to that, because the more that these people creep into the school system, stuff like that, you're going to hear on the news about, you know, like a school shooting, but it's going to be completely 100% a racist shooting where like a white kid goes in and shoots up a bunch of black kids at the school or vice versa. I guarantee that's coming down the pipe because these people are infiltrating everything, and that's who they are. That's what they do. You know, it's just like they have reasons to kill all the Palestinians over there. They're just evil. I was just thinking in my head, what do you think blacks go through? Exactly, Grateful. Yep. Colorado is, yeah, it is. We've seen the Florida man. Yeah, Colorado is like, obviously Colorado is infiltrated. I mean, it's so obvious because of Victor Marx, you know. Washington has been ruined. Washington's a little bit different because it's, well, I know Erica's coming here in July. She'll be speaking at like July 28th for someone, what the fuck they're doing. If you look at our governors, it's hard, you know, Democrat state if you follow it high enough up the chain, you'll find the connection between even the leftist governors and Victor Marx. And, they all are ran by the same people. Same people are putting all these governors in there, and they just create different, it's the illusion of choice, the duopoly, Coke and Pepsi. If anything really weird happens, like a guy surviving a gator attack and surviving 3 days with no arm wandering in the swamp, I think he had some meth in his pocket, though. Did that really happen? I'm trying to think of a joke for that. I almost had it. That's crazy. What did I just see? Something about meth. Oh, we were just looking at the Saturday Night Live skits. There was something on there about meth. That's funny. What do we have here?
Okay.
This is body cam footage of Hulk Hogan's death. Clearwater police just sent me body cam footage, including an interview with the therapist who said Hogan's phrenic nerve had been severed in a botched surgery. The therapist later walked back this claim, and Hogan's death was ruled natural.
Then it'll put a line through.
It's my second visit.
Okay.
I just did the initial eval last week. So I was surprised you made it for the week.
And are you trying to help them adjust to being in like a wheelchair mainly and stuff like that? Or?
Yeah, occupational, that definition, PT does the legs, OT we do the upper body.
Okay.
Function.
So just helping him function as best he can.
Right. I was trying to get him back, but he was having trouble breathing.
Was he able to walk and stuff?
Barely. It was a pivot transfer.
He's been using like urinal and stuff. What's the big issue right now?
Everything. Like we were.
Like why is he kind of?
I gotta stop it real quick. I fucking hate the sheriff of Pierce County Sheriff's Department. It's the whole thing. This motherfucker keeps talking shit. He ran for governor, Sheriff Keith Swank, and me and him are just kind of getting into a little Twitter battle, and I said, what about all the massage parlors? I don't even want to get into it. This motherfucker better leave me alone. Sorry.
Why was he not able to walk?
He had that, they severed the phrenic nerve in surgery.
Was that recently? Okay. So he had a back surgery? Or what was it?
It was...
I got to get going, guys, but this guy, Sheriff Keith Swank, he ran for governor and lost to Bob Ferguson. And he goes, Jason, we are addressing, you say, I hate these guys because they're just, the Pierce County Sheriff's Department are dirty, crooked, fucking disgusting pigs. And 3 of them came and arrested me for some bullshit back in 2018. They had to let me out the next jail, but it affected something. And I don't want to get into all those details, but I fucking hate those guys. They know they did. I told them they were making a mistake, and they knew they were, but they just did it because they're just fucking pigs. And this is their boss. And I call him out on all kinds of shit. For example, they posted something. This is how this all started. The other day, there was a fatality from a DUI here in Pierce County somewhere. I said, well, yeah, you guys are hypocrites because one of their officers was shit-faced drunk at 3:00 in the afternoon last year and hit 6 people, including 3 kids, slammed into him, ran a stop sign. A Pierce County sheriff officer. Okay. And I don't hate all cops. I just fucking hate these guys. Well, anyway, somebody very close to me told me that their best friend's husband, they got a divorce from their husband. He's a Pierce County sheriff's officer because he was fucking prostitutes at these massage parlors. This is the boss. These massage parlors, there's 15 of them on the road I live on alone, literally on Pacific Avenue. 15 up and down here. And it's all legal prostitution. And he's trying to say, We are addressing massage parlors. Maybe you should come to one of my many community meetings and ask that question. Then you can find out what we are doing and how uninformed your comments are. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck your mother. And fuck your whole police department. How about that? Okay. Those massage parlors have been around for years. And, oh, how the fuck did you guys, is prostitution legal in Washington? I don't think it is. So how did you even let that happen in the first place? And now you're going to address how you guys are going to do something about it when your own officers are going there and frequenting the massage parlors? Give me a fucking break, dude. You're a fucking clown. You are a fucking clown. Don't go to those meetings. You might, yeah, exactly. I just, I call balls and strikes. I can't stand those guys. They are the most dirtiest fucking pigs. And I also send them a link to, I'm sorry, guys. I just get heated about this shit. One of the Pierce County Sheriff's officers named Mark French is trying to get, I think he got it. I think he accomplished it. He got his record scrubbed from being caught with child pornography back in the early 2000s. Like, these guys just have a long list of, I just don't like cops. I just got to be honest. Like, my school cop, back when I did like cops, I had a school cop. He followed us from junior high to high school. He became the chief of police here in Tacoma, and he ended up, he was so abusive to his wife. They got divorced. He has his kids. He's bringing his kids to drop them off with the ex-wife, in a parking lot at a store. He gets in the car with her, shoots her, and kills himself. So he does a murder homicide, and the two 8 and 10-year-old kids are in the other car right there. They watched it happen. I mean, this is the type of fucking people these guys are. I know all cops aren't bad, but there's a lot of them. The problem is because this all stemmed from the illegal arrest. My ex, I have 2 exes, 3 kids. My 2 older kids are in their 20s. My youngest is 15. His mother, I don't even know if the dude's a cop or his dad's a cop. Somebody's a cop. Somebody's a cop over there. So when the breakup happened and all this kind of stuff, it got ugly. I'll just say that. And it got ugly because they're just pigs, It's just, the whole story is just fucked up. I grew up learning that cops beat women. Yeah, it's and I know we know people who have family members that are cops and stuff like that. It doesn't change the fact, I don't recommend being a cop for too long, even if you are right now. But it is what it is. So anyway, this guy, I love it when the police departments go online, like on Facebook, because the internet always wins. It's like, and they sometimes they'll turn the comments off if they don't want you commenting on it. I just seen that happen the other day. If they don't want the narrative to get pushed too far. But it is what it is. You want to go on there and I'll call this guy out all day long. I kind of almost do want to go to one of the community meetings, to be honest with you. And call him out on it, because Osada, I know you got to go. Thanks so much. Yes, I appreciate you guys. I am going to get going. Sun's popping up. It's 8:45. Dang, time's flying. Got the Strawberry Festival coming up. I got to go run down and get some lemonade, some ice, and I'll go from there. I got all day, though. Usually Fridays are really busy for me, working-wise. We have cameras now, kind of even the score a little. Yes. Yep. I should have sued those guys when they arrested me. I could have. I just I was not in good shape back then. I'm going to go out into my, yeah, you have a great garden, Grateful. Wish you were here to go for a cruise, Patty. Yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out. Have a great day. Happy Friday. June is just flying by. I mean, 4th of July is just right around the corner. Not this Saturday, next Saturday. So not tomorrow. It's a week from tomorrow. 4th of July is a week from tomorrow. So that's crazy. Summer's just going to just go. Pew. It always does that, right? See you guys. Have a great day.